As a young boy, old folks thought I was cool. I did good in school, so mama let me bend the rules. I grew up with an attitude to do just what I choose.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Shooting the Shit. Only two of us today. It's just me and Pat, just like the old days, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. Health is good. It's unfortunate I got to be out in these Arizona streets. Number one in COVID, number 49 in education, number
Hey.
one. But we out here by any means necessary. We got to get the pod. We got to shoot our shit.
Yeah, we're shooting our shit. Kevin's not here, but I promise that he is not dead. He's alive and well. He just couldn't make it. If you remember last week's episode, he is fine with COVID, but hopefully he's on the other side of that fight. And it looks like my man Pat is in recording from a dungeon right now, so that's cool too. I appreciate the dedication and diligence, and we can get started. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about football. So my policy on football is until Kaepernick gets signed by a team in the league, I won't talk about football. So this is going to be the Pat show. Go ahead, Pat.
Absolutely. So we got two crazy one really crazy situation, another situation that shouldn't have been crazy but did turn crazy. We're gonna start off with my man Cam Newton. Cam finally found a home. I don't think that if you would have written the Cam Newton story years before, you would have constructed his story to have him land in such a place. But in true Bill Belichick fashion, Cam Newton has found himself on the Patriots getting paid pennies, peanuts, and popsicles to be the number one quarterback on arguably the nation's number one football team. So rumor has it, and Shawn, you can appreciate this, that the Patriots didn't have Cam Newton in the running because ideally he shouldn't have been in the running. He should have still been in Carolina. But the idea was that they were looking at other quarterback options, and Kaepernick was one of those options, and that Cam Newton was signed instead of Kaepernick for a number of different reasons, one of them being that Cam has more recently played in the NFL. I would have been happy with either. Had either been signed to that team, I would have ordered either jersey, even though I, prior to Cam Newton signing with them, completely hated the Patriots. But I hate the Panthers way more than I hate the Patriots at this point. So I am supporting Cam Newton. I am disappointed at what he had to do, what he had to give up financially just to continue to compete in the league. But I think that says more about Cam Newton than it says about the league. I think Cam really wanted to take this opportunity to stick it to the Panthers, to stick it to his naysayers and say, hey, you guys counted me out. You said I wasn't this. You said I wasn't that. You said I was injury prone. You said I was past my prime. You said I only had one good season. I'm going to go link up with this guy. You might know his name, Bill Belichick. We're going to see what me and him can do. And I'm happy that he's getting that opportunity. I hope he absolutely destroys the league. I hope that all the fans in Boston have to bow down to a black quarterback because, as we know, Boston is Boston. And I hope that Cam Newton gets to leave that fan base appreciating what he and other quarterbacks like him bring to the table. Shawn, I don't know if you want to speak on it. Go ahead and give me what you got.
I would love to speak on, but Cap ain't signed yet. So I just had a question for you. We're gonna, I'm just gonna feed you stuff until we're not talking about football anymore because I'm dead serious. So why do you hate Carolina more at this point? I wasn't really following.
So so full disclosure, used to be a true blue diehard Carolina fan from 95, 96 when they came into the league up until March, I think it was 17th, sometime around there when they let Cam Newton go. This is it's about Cam Newton, but it's not about Cam Newton. I'm going to take you through a timeline of within the last 7 years of when my disdain for the Panthers began to grow. The overall basis for my hate is we don't know how to treat our superstars. We don't know how to treat our superstars. We don't know how to build our team. We don't know how to sustain success. And some of that's the players' faults. A lot of it comes from the front office, management, ownership. 2013 going into 2014, we have arguably Carolina's all-time great receiver, Steve Smith.
Mhm.
Somehow Steve Smith gets cut from our team, unceremoniously at that. He's all-time great. If you're a Panthers fan, at some point in time, Steve Smith was your favorite player. I don't care who you are, white, black, red, brown. At some point in time, Steve Smith was your guy. 2014, he's unceremoniously cut. Okay, sure, no problem. I'll take it back even a step before that. D'Angelo Williams, one of our all-time leading rushers, unceremoniously cut. He had issues with management. He felt the team didn't support him through his mother's cancer struggles, through the team showing their support for the fight. He's a large part of why breast cancer awareness is large in the NFL, and he felt that that should have been a fight that the Panthers would have been willing to fight alongside him. He said he didn't get the support. So yeah, two all-time greats. D'Angelo Williams, numbers-wise, is an all-time great, but where he ranks in fans' hearts might not be as high as Steve Smith. So going in 2013, 2014, we have two all-time great Panthers being unceremoniously released from the team. Then we have these great years with Cam where he has his MVP, we go to the Super Bowl, and then the Josh Norman situation happens. Josh Norman feels like he's a top player, feels like he should be paid relative to how he produces on the field. Some may argue yes or no, but everyone can agree at that point in time, Josh Norman was a key part of our team. What do the Panthers do? Panthers not only don't give him a deal, they franchise tag him. Then they pull the franchise tag, allowing him to leave, and he goes to the Washington Redskins, where some may say he's had a successful, unsuccessful. I don't care how you felt about it. Josh Norman went on to another team and had more productive years with that team. So now we're at three Panthers who have been fan favorites, who have contributed to our team, who have helped build the profile of the Carolina Panthers becoming a national team alongside Cam Newton. They're no longer on a team. All right, fine, cool. We
Was
struggled
Cam
to
the last straw?
Cam is doing Cam things. Cam is dressing the way Cam dresses. Cam is giving us highs and lows. But we also know there's not much around Cam. We don't give him receivers that can do anything. We give him Kelvin Benjamin. We give him
Isn't he fat?
Kelvin Benjamin is definitely overweight.
Okay, yeah, I heard something about him being fat.
But through all of this, Carolina remains relevant. Carolina remains a topic of discussion because we have our MVP, Cam Newton. Cam Newton's the face of the team. But somehow, when Christian McCaffrey enters the pantheon of players, you see this struggle. There's already Luke, who is on the team, and you have a basis of fans that root for Luke and the Luke chants in the stadium. And, you know, yeah, Luke is great, but on the other side of Luke, you got Cam, and they're kind of like ebony and ivory. And then Christian McCaffrey enters, and Christian McCaffrey is a stud. And you kind of feel some of the momentum shift from it being a Cam-centric team to being a Christian-centric team, whether that's due to Cam's injuries or whatever the case is. You start seeing and feeling this shift of, hey, we're moving on from you, Cam. We're going to, put this thing in Christian McCaffrey's hands. And as a football fan, like, yes, Cam's been injured. If you can take the pressure off Cam and let Christian McCaffrey run the ball the way he runs the ball, maybe we might be able to sustain some success. Because mind you, we've been a team since 95. We have not had back-to-back winning seasons since we've been an organization. So, Christian McCaffrey does his thing his rookie year. Second year, we're off to the races. Cam gets injured in the middle of the year. We were 6-2 when he gets injured. Instead of Carolina looking at their situation and saying, let's rest Cam, let's make him sit down, they allow Cam to continue to play. Nobody is the voice of reason with Cam and say, hey, Cam, you're injured really badly. We need you to stop playing. They let Cam play all the way up until week 14 or 15, I think. Basically, Cam played 14 games. 6 of them he was badly injured. He shouldn't have played after the Steelers game. He was badly injured. The Panthers allowed him to become injured. Cam wants to be Superman. Cam comes back. Christian McCaffrey's third year. During preseason, we're playing the Patriots. Cam hurts his foot. It looks really bad when he hurts his foot. The Panthers allow him to hurt his foot. They don't play him all the rest of the preseason, but week 1 comes. They trot Cam Newton out there on the field. Cam Newton can't run in a 1-yard touchdown against the LA Rams to win the game. We're on the 1-yard line. Given any other circumstance, Cam Newton can run that ball in. And I know I'm long-winded. I'm giving the whole history of why I hate the Panthers. Basically, the Panthers treated Cam Newton like shit, along with a host of all of our other superstars and fan favorites that they unceremoniously cut. And so once they cut Cam Newton, I knew that I could not be loyal to a team who did not want to see their fans happy. They hired a coach who had never been in the NFL to be their head, who had never been a head coach in the NFL, I should say, to a 7-year deal and said, hey, not only are we going to give this to you, we're going to give you a team that has no Cam Newton, that has no Luke, no Greg Olsen, it has no founding pieces except Christian McCaffrey, and we want you guys to go and win. And as a fan, I just finally said enough is enough. I became a free agent. When they released Cam, I became a free agent. I am now a mercenary in the football world. I'm choosing to be happy. I'm not choosing to be unhappy with Panthers anymore. I've ended that relationship. And now I want Cam Newton to come back. I want him to regularly, because obviously I want him to prove that he still is healthy. He's 31 years old, which is relatively young when you're speaking about quarterbacks. Maybe not quarterbacks that play the game like Cam does, but I just don't like how the Panthers treat their superstars. I don't like how they treat their superstars. And if they treat their superstars like that, how are they going to treat me? And I don't feel like being treated like that anymore. So I am leaving.
Fair enough. I can dig that. I always love fans leaving unceremonious, like poor relationships, because it's already a one-way thing as is. They get very little benefit from even the good relationship. They just get the emotional boost. And bad relationships is just shit. You're just ruining every Sunday of yours voluntarily for 5 months, because you're probably watching every preseason game too. So it's just 5 months of misery during the fall where you could be spending time with your family or watching literally anyone decent play who makes you happy. So
we're just being happy. That's it, right? Just being happy.
We're so old. I went through a lot of misery with the Jets. I was a Jets fan when I followed the league, and I got 2 good years in my life with the Jets, and there were 2 very good years, but the butt fumble happened, and I haven't found happiness since. So that it definitely facilitated me falling out of love with the NFL, and the cap thing was the final piece. I was like, hey, I can let go of this now. This is dumb. So
I am definitely hate watching the NFL this year, and I am watching it for Cam Newton to be a stud. I kind of look at this as like you remember when KD left the Thunder and went to the Warriors?
Obviously, yes.
And everyone was really focused on KD. I was more focused on Westbrook, because I had that feeling that Westbrook's not going to take this line down. He's going to go out there and he's going to win the MVP, because he wants to shut everyone up. He wants to show everyone he's not the reason that the Thunder failed. He wants to show that he can stand on his own. And Russ went out and got the MVP that year. And I think that was the first year he averaged a triple-double, right?
Yes, it was. Did you put money on that? That was a pretty bold call back then.
No, I did have a Facebook memory that popped up after KD left, and I said, I guarantee, I was partially right. I was like, Russ is going to win the MVP, and he's probably going to take the Thunder to the playoffs, and he'll push the Warriors to the brink, just out of that pure dog that he has in him. And I kind of feel that from Cam. Kind of feel that coming from Cam, where I don't care what you feel about him as a person, as a player. When he gets on that football field, he's not going to lose, because he's proving every single time he touches that ball, I'm really that guy. Y'all forgot that I was that guy. I'm about to show you why I'm that guy. So I'll be watching the league for that. And I'll just be watching it for the usual cowboy hate to
All right.
see cowboy fans cry and um, everything else that comes along with the NFL. But yeah, no
Yeah.
longer a Panthers fan. Enough is enough. Me too.
Yeah, me too. No more. All those good hashtags. Speaking of decent reason to watch the NFL, Patty Mahomes, he's hella rich.
He's
500 milli?
the half billionaire boys club.
Yeah, he's the only member, at least from a damn sports
From
contract.
a sports contract, yeah, it's a pretty lucrative deal for him. What's interesting though is of that entire deal, 140 million is guaranteed, which isn't an enormous amount of money. Um, you got to think when baseball players sign those deals, all that money is 100% guaranteed. They're getting
Yeah.
all. Pat Mahomes can potentially earn over $500 million, but of this contract that he signed, 140 million is guaranteed. Um, I found it interesting that the deal is still Kansas City friendly. You would think that if you're giving someone half a Billy, that you're going to financially hamstring the organization. His number is tied to a percentage of the cap, so it won't ever overload his team's cap. So his team still has the ability to be flexible financially. Obviously, when you look at everything else that Kansas City has to worry about, they have really great players on their team that they're going to have to either make a decision on to pay or not pay at some point in time. So when Tyreek Hill wants his money, what are you going to do? When Travis Kelsey's up for his new deal, what are you going to do? When your running back, I think it's Spencer Ware or I can't remember. They had another running back, but then he decided to punch a woman in the face, so they got him out of there and sent him to Cleveland.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
but they have all these really great players that they're going to have to pay, and somehow it looks like they're going to be able to manage to do that without doing what the Panthers do, which is letting their superstars walk for nothing. Um, and they also draft really well. Um, the Kansas City Chiefs are drafting well. They're not having to really dive into free agency, and when they do the things that make fans happy. They pick up big names that can come in and contribute. They go and get.
This
Uh,
is your dream episode. I'm sorry. You just get to talk football
I
for as
just
long
get,
as you fucking
I
want.
get to run
This
with
is
it.
your dream.
This is like my dream. I woke up last night and was like, man, we really have two football topics that I just get to take my time and Sean's airtime on. I'm gonna be brief though because I do want to hear your opinion on some of the other things we got to talk about. But all in all, to say, I like that Pat Mahomes got his deal because what it says to me is we value the type of quarterback play that you bring to the position. And you know who else plays quarterback like that? A lot of young black quarterbacks that come
Yep.
into the league. They play like that. So by him getting this deal, hopefully it opens the door. Now, what I will say is Kansas City gave Patrick Mahomes face of the league money. And we all know Patrick Mahomes is mulatto magic. So he's allowed to be face of the league. I don't see Lamar Jackson getting face of the league money. Dak Prescott could probably get face of the league money because of the team he plays for. I don't see Deshaun Watson getting face of the league money. I see their numbers being very high, though. I see them getting paid very handsomely for what they do, but a half a billy, I think that I don't see them getting that. Um, they still like the face of the league to be safe in that regard. So they're not going to put a South Florida Jet like Lamar Jackson as face of the league.
That hood. What is Goofy League?
It's still,
Goofy.
it's still, it's still an institution that's founded in America
Oh,
where institutional racism is a thing. So at the end of the day, it still factors in. As much as white people don't like to hear us run down the history of their country, it is a thing that's been a part of your country. You can choose to ignore it and then have black people scream on you 4 years later, or you can accept it now and figure out how to maneuver around it and deal with it. So
yeah. So we go with football. Are we done with football?
let me think. Yeah, we're done with football.
Yeah, I'm about to say because like get them all out. Fuck it, like
No,
because I'm about
I got it all out. I got way more hate for the Panthers, and that segment was way too long. So I don't know if our trusted producer Bradley can do something about that. I do want everyone to know I hate the Panthers, but I don't want to go on a 7-minute diatribe about hating the Panthers. I just really should have just came on and said I hate the Panthers. We treat our superstars like trash. Fuck them, and then let that be it. That's really what I should have said. That's how
Now,
long.
Stephen A. will be proud, man. That was a very rousing dialogue. I enjoyed hearing your anthology on your fandom with the Panthers.
I hate them so much.
I
I hate
can
them so
tell.
much.
Okay, so all right, so that's the end of football. Great job. I'm glad you got all that out. Because you're not going to get any help from me. Hopefully this week, Kev will be back on. We're supposed to have a guest to talk football things with you, with Pat and everyone else, but he cut out, so it was all him. I
Yeah,
don't apologize.
absolutely.
I think it was worth it. Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to talk about basketball, and we're going to talk about the NBA bubble,
Welcome
which
back, Shawn.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Was it been like 20 minutes? I get to formulate my thoughts about everything else. So yeah, we had the NBA bubble, and we have a season starting in 3 weeks. In the midst of a pandemic where they just opened up, the ICU beds are 100% full in 5 counties. But we're not going to worry about all the COVID stuff right now. We're going to talk about the food because the food is shit. The food is shit.
It
The
looks like
hotel,
they got the Fire Festival vendor to come
yeah,
into the bubble and bless our multi-million-dollar athletes with the best
airplane food.
Department of Corrections food that they can find. Now, I
Oh,
would say that I've been on the players tough about looking at their hotel rooms because you're going to Disneyland. It's a family resort. You're not at the Waldorf Astoria. Cut it out. But that food is atrocious. That is terrible. It's slop. It's bad.
it's so bad. You know who's not eating that shit? Braun or any other Lakers. Man, and it was so obvious because LeBron spends so much money on his body. What I think it's a million and a half bucks every year just exclusively to keep his body right. And I saw the clips of him eating sushi, and he had his little Taco Tuesday. Kuzma had some seafood that was obviously prepared by LeBron's chef, and it looked delicious. Meanwhile, Troy Daniels is showing his airplane food and his piece of bread that people can play tennis with and shit. It's so it's so unbelievable. They had the it's hard enough to beat LeBron in the playoffs, and now they gotta beat him facing malnutrition and shit. It's it's an unbelievable situation. And like I said before, they're not gonna test LeBron for any COVID related stuff. We can cut that out. I used to talk about whether like what would happen if LeBron tested positive for COVID or if Anthony Davis tested positive for COVID. We'll have to worry about it because the NBA is not going to let that happen one way or another. They're gonna they're gonna get another sample. They're going to hide that result from everyone involved. But the one thing they're not going to do is let LeBron test positive for that Rona because it ruins everything and
Absolutely everything.
it invalidates the season that should not have gone on in the first place, and it just it throws everything into chaos. So I'm really interested to see if they apply that same unwritten rule for Giannis and Kawhi and PG and other players who actually matter in the league outside of Braun, but that's not going to happen. I
I
guarantee.
I had a conversation with a friend to the side. I was like, you better believe you got all these players coming in. Rondo was complaining about the room. Montrezl Harrell was complaining about his food, rightfully so, rightfully so.
Yeah,
Um, but you better believe Adam Silver, the head honchos of the NBA, pulled LeBron aside before they even got to the bubble, and they looked at him in his face and said, "LeBron, if you complain about one thing in this bubble, if you show any signs of one thing in this bubble, We will murder you. We will murder you and bury you underneath the same Disney field that we're playing on. We will leave you in Orlando and we won't think twice about it. You better fall in line. You better, if you're sick, we don't care. Here's your Jordan
We
flu
don't give a
moment,
fuck.
your flu game moment, your COVID-19 moment. We don't care, Bron. You better not mess this up for us. I feel like that's the conversation that Adam Silver, Michelle Roberts, and the players union, they all came and sat down and was like, Bron, we really need you to be Superman right now. Do not complain about the rooms, because if you complain about the rooms, then what's
Yeah.
what's Troy Daniels gonna say? If you complain about the food, what's Troy Daniels gonna say? So um,
Yeah.
I think it's right in line with what you're saying. Is that they're not going to let anything happen to LeBron.
No.
LeBron's not eating the slop that they're eating. LeBron is getting Uber Eats into the bubble on the low, while everyone else has to deal with the Fire Festival staff giving them heated bologna sandwiches.
The shit that we ate when we was younger.
They're literally getting Sumter School District 2 and
Yeah.
Sumter District 17 food delivered to them in.
I think I saw one. They had the little mini pizzas. Remember, like remember those
On
shits?
that note, on that note, you know who is comfortable in the bubble? John Moran.
Oh yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Because he was Sumter District 2, Sumter District 17. He's been preparing for this moment his entire life.
You don't even know the difference. You was like, shit. What's the big deal? Like, this fool's
Wait,
good.
yo, you mean all of y'all didn't have this? This wasn't the nutrition at y'all school? Y'all, this is what?
Yeah, because everyone went to prep school where all that shit's prepared. John went to Crestwood. You eat the same shit as everybody else, which makes his fucking transition to the league even crazier than what most people consider. And he was a 0-star recruit and everything else going to Murray State. But when we say Ja came from not much, like as far as preparation for this, he y'all don't get it, dog. Y'all gotta take a trip around his high school and its amenities, bro. It's he came a ways.
We
Like at
we
least,
grew, we came up in the bubble. Basically, what you see in the bubble is what our everyday circumstances were.
yeah, yeah. Ja don't know the difference, and God bless him for it. By the time he gets that second contract, I'm sure he'll know the difference, and he'll be like everyone else, like, what is this filth? But right
Absolutely.
now, it's
Where's my
very
blanket? Where's the mint on my pillow?
yeah, like what is this? Yeah, but until then, enjoy. I'm gonna enjoy the fact that he doesn't see a difference with the quality of food. And bro, have you seen Rondo?
Yes.
Like he looks like fucking Balrog from Street Fighter.
Listen, I think we're going to get some really good basketball. Now, all jokes aside about their living situation, God bless them. I don't really feel bad about their living situations. The food can be upgraded, absolutely, but outside of that, a lot of these players are in really damn good shape. And,
Yeah,
and if my 15-year-old son has been working out 4 days a week, running with other kids of the same ilk, the same mindset that they want to be great, these NBA players have been putting a lot of work in. You've got people like Anthony Davis who said I was probably at 70 to 80% when the season ended, and I'm at 100% now. So they got rest, they got rehab, they got to work out with very minimal impact from outside influence affecting that regimen. And I think that we're going to see maybe just game speed rust, but you're not going to see a lot of rust in the way of just bad basketball. I think we're going to
yeah,
get some really competitive basketball because these guys have been grinding and working for like 4 months, 5 months straight almost.
yeah. Like that. That's a really interesting point. I remember the picture of Zion. He's lost 15 pounds and he was like a more of a DC superhero than he did before. And that's a really interesting point. I think you're right. I just hope that no one dies, especially
Yes,
not on the court. It'd be very nice
outside of
if no one
COVID,
died. Yes.
outside of the thing that no one in the world is controlling yet. Well, some are controlling better than others, but we don't have a handle. Outside of that, everything should be great.
Yeah. Outside of that, small thing that doesn't
A
affect.
very small thing.
Yeah,
Worry about
no
that.
big deal.
Yes.
We haven't talked about it at all, and we're not because it doesn't matter. Yeah. So, all right. So, what was the last thing we're going to talk about? Will and Jada.
You
you
know,
know, so like before we started this podcast, well, it's been 2 months already, which is insane. But before we started this, I had the luxury of not caring about any of this shit. I had the luxury to be like, oh, two celebrities are doing a thing. I don't care, and I just get to ignore it, and I just get to take a nap until that moment passes on social media. I no longer have that luxury, so I have to at least know cursory details about
dive in head first. Head first. Dive into it.
about Will and Jada and their open marriage, which hasn't been a secret for decades now, and some singer named August Alsina is his name
That's correct.
was who had a extramarital relationship with Jada, and Jada broke the number one rule, the "don't embarrass me" rule. And and the man is the one who normally breaks that. Shame on Jada. I know she's doing her thing, but come on, man. And like this isn't August's fault. Like Jada, she's been in this game for long enough. She's the one who has the power dynamic. Control your side piece. I know Will has pieces like here and there and everywhere, men and women both. They all quiet. They all quiet. Like you'll never hear like one of Will's flingy flings talking crazy on social media or anywhere else, man. And shame on Jada, man. Just
Yeah,
now
it's
we gotta know about their details and their goofy thing they had on the red table.
yeah. You know what? I don't even want to get into the details of what's going on with Will and Jada. I want to get into the reaction of women justifying what Jada's
Oh,
done and trying to find strength in the way Jada has handled this situation. Let's be 100% clear. Let's be 100% clear. For years, we're talking about going back to our childhood, we've heard rumors of Will and Jada being in an open relationship.
mhm.
If those rumors are true, this is just par for the course in their relationship as far as them having physical attractions to people outside of themselves. So Jada has not violated Will in any way, according to the rumors based on if they're true, based on their relationship.
Right.
Based on Will's take, Will says they were separated, right? Separated, which still means Jada did not violate any type of relationship rules um, as it pertains to did she cheat on Will? She didn't cheat on Will. So that's not what the issue here is. The issue here is exactly what you said, Shawn. Don't embarrass me in front of company.
Come on, man.
Control your hose. Um, and really, at the end of the day, don't make the Fresh Prince look bad. Don't make
Yeah,
Mike
what's wrong
Lowry
with
look bad.
Jada, man?
Will has been out here supporting you. None of his transgressions have become public to us because he has a firm grasp on whoever he's dealing with. Uh, all that will ask Jade is that you have the same handle on your situation that Will does.
It's not asking for
And
much,
then
man.
when you parade Will out in front of the public to address it, don't make Will look weak by
Looking
having him have to
crazy.
make you pull the information out, and then you couch it by saying it's an entanglement and y'all were just friends, really good friends. We're all adults. Adults are watching your show. We know what that means. You got Will out here prying the information out. And mind you, that conversation they had was for us because they've
Yeah,
apparently already had their own private conversation. So I'm
I'm
not
sure.
expecting
Yeah.
them to go super deep into the details like was August pounding you out in the room next to Willow and was Jaden Wall. We weren't in we don't need those details. Those are grown folks. They handle that on their own. But what we did need from Jada was more than entanglement, right? We will deserve more than entanglement in front of company. Um, because if I recall last week, Jada said she was bringing herself to the table. And when they got to the table, it felt like Will was the one that dragged Jada to the table. She's sitting there crisscross applesauce, talking to him super nonchalant, like, oh, Will, let's just get this out the way. And it's your platform. You're the one who brought yourself to the table. So if you're going to be transparent with the public, be transparent with the public. Don't make Will say, Jada, what does that mean? Oh, so what is that real? I think I need to have you explain further what that means. Now, kudos to them in their relationship. Their relationship is strong. Whatever they have going on obviously doesn't work for everyone, but it works for them. They figured out how to communicate with each other. And I think that's what a lot of couples need to take away is you got to find how to communicate with your partner so that, you all are respecting one another. But
Shooting the
come
love
on,
advice over here, Pat.
come on, women. Y'all, we're not going to sit here and dismiss with Jada. Let's get the real root of the call. Jada took advantage of a young man who was in search or in need
She
of.
preyed on him.
Exactly. So we're not gonna let you all get away with getting these jokes off on Will. This is not Will's fault. I don't want you taking any of Will's good work that he did. I've seen the Fresh Prince montage where he was talking to Uncle Phil about why you don't want me, and they just ruined that with nonsense that Jada had. Don't do that to Will. Will is a strong black role model to men that want to be in committed relationships and show loyalty. Do not tear him down. Save your energy for Jada, who made our strong male role model look like a complete simp.
Yeah, the man looked like a cuck. All types of awful things. We only have but so many black institutions as humans. We got Will, we got Denzel, we got LeBron, uh, Kobe dead,
Obama.
join OB. Depending on how you feel about his politics, but he's definitely an institution as far as his personal traits and general integrity, mindset, all that other good stuff. We only got but so many, and Jada had him looking
Look at
silly on
that.
that red tape.
What's gonna happen is they're gonna tear Will down and say, Will, you look like a chump, this and that. And the women are like, oh yeah, Will, that's so great. But in reality, what you're doing is you're turning Will Smith into future Hendrix. And then y'all are only gonna have futures left. And y'all are gonna be like, oh no, what happened to the Wills? Well, this is what happened to the Wills. You killed us all because you made us all look bad in front of company. So there you have it. Jada, stop making Will look bad in front of company. Control your hoes. And we don't have to have these conversations. Fresh Prince is still the Fresh Prince. He's still getting jiggy with it. It's still Big Willie style. He don't got to curse in his rap to sell records.
Yeah, like
Don't protect Will at all costs. We need Will to be pristine. Jada, this is your fault.
yeah. This is all on Jada. Shame on Jada. Oh my gosh, another shame on Jada. That's all her. This whole thing was her. And August comes off at like a lame too, and this might have been promo. But again, Jada, you're the one with the power here. You're the one trying them out on the show. Like you know how this goes, man. Just don't. Like stop.
Exactly.
You messed up. So I think that wraps up for the show. Pat, you're feeling better, yes?
I'm 100% better. I'm 100% better. I had a thoracic strain in my back. I was
Oh,
working out in the gym. Everything was fine, lifting some weights, and felt great. And then it got to about the middle of the day, and oh, here's this pain coming up my side, and I didn't know where it was. So it wasn't COVID related. I'm 100% healthy. It was gym related, which is ironic because the weekend going into that show, they'd actually shut the gyms down again in Arizona. So um,
okay.
now I have no gym to go to injure myself. So I have time to heal and get ready for my bubble season, like the NBA players.
All right, yeah. I actually got a hoop in preparation for everything closing down again because deaths are rising in Delaware as well. And I shot around. I think it was Thursday, It felt great, and I have 57 mosquito bites on my back. My wife counted them. I have 57 of them. It's unbelievable. I don't know how people play outside. I don't know how we used to play outside. Like
Listen, you
this is
didn't go out there like
uncomfortable,
Hoodie
dog.
Mellow? No hoodie. You had your shirt off. It was shirts and skins.
I just had a shirt on. Like I had a regular shirt on. I put on my little bug spray or whatever, thinking I was gonna be fine. I was not fine. Like I understand that the ants biting my ankles up. Like that's cool. That's fine. But these mosquitoes got up under my shirt. Like I tasted like honey or something. I
Listen,
don't.
there is no outside activities for basketball being partaken in here in Phoenix, Arizona. So you guys can have that. Um, we're inside with it, and football season's pushed back. So
Oh, they officially got pushed back. They're finally starting to
our
operate.
school got pushed back. It's going to be online. I believe online. I think there's some options. You have the option to do online only the entire first semester, or there's a hybrid where you're able to start your online classes August 17th. And then I think it's like September 13th starts a rotational basis of going into class. But our football season, they're anticipating it starting on September the 11th, fall days. Um, Friday, September the 11th, they're expecting the
They are
football
mass
season.
death.
They're still expecting to have a full season, 8 to 10 games, but it's definitely getting pushed back. And I think that's still even wishful thinking because
Oh,
there's
absolutely.
still a chance
They
it's going to get canceled. So,
yeah, like Texas done canceled their football. There's please.
yeah, Texas cancels, it's a wrap for everybody.
You can forget about it. This is wishful thinking. They're trying to delay the inevitable outrage and disappointment of parents who want to trot their kids onto quite literal death for their $5 entertainment on Friday nights. Which right, okay, so but yeah, y'all ain't playing no football in Arizona, and it didn't have to be this way.
It
We're,
didn't.
we're, it did not.
It could have been handled completely differently.
Yes, yeah. We had a 2 month head start. We had a blueprint from China, Vietnam, New Zealand, Germany, Japan, all sorts of countries who have their shit together, and they created a blueprint, and we were just like, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do it our way and see what happens. Well,
Ain't no
this is
we, they. Ain't no we,
they,
my
they,
brother.
pardon me.
They.
Yeah, yeah, because I've been following rules. I don't have COVID. At least I'm. At least I hope I don't have COVID, and I'm just not asymptomatic. But I haven't put myself in situations where there's a high probability of me catching COVID. But I can't say the same for most of the country. So this is what we get. We earned it, and I really hope fewer people die now that we can't go anywhere. Did you see the passport and how worthless it is now? Did you look
Yeah.
at that at
It
all?
only grants us access to 24 countries.
Yeah, 24. Yes, that was uniquely depressing.
It's like the greatest country in the world is on timeout. And a portion of the country wants to get out of timeout, but the other portion of the country won't keep their face in the corner. And the teacher keeps looking at us and saying, you know what? Go back on timeout. Everybody's in trouble. Until those kids over there start acting right, we're all inside. So I don't care how you feel about your freedoms being infringed upon. At this point,
Hey,
your
free. We
whining,
can't.
your
We
bitching, and
can't go fucking
complaining,
where.
your whining and your complaining has accomplished nothing. So at this point, do what we need to do to get out of timeout. We're all in timeout. Act right. Because if you don't act right, you know what we're going to start doing? We're going to take it back to the halls of High Hills Elementary School in Dazzle, South Carolina. And we're going to start beating you up.
Thank you. We got so fucking about.
If you keep causing trouble, we are going to beat you up.
It's the only thing they listen to: violence and force and awful things. I don't
And
get
reverse racism. They listen to reverse racism too.
that. Is true. Yeah, yeah, definitely that. Well, I'll wrap it up for this show. Uh, sorry to leave you on the limb with all the football stuff, but I'm pretty sure you not even secretly enjoyed it. It's probably the most football you.
Anytime, anytime.
I bet. But yeah, in the future we'll try to get guests on, and hopefully Kevin's on after this week too. So you have someone to go back and forth with football that isn't me. But yeah, that's our episode of Shooting the Shit. Thank you guys. Bradley's fine too. He doesn't have COVID. He's not dead. He's just watching Hamilton with his family. So you guys take it easy. And that's it for us. Shooting the Shit.